Hello and welcome to this last video out of three that I prepared for you on shorter videos about each topic. This one is about how to craft a social media strategy. So I'm just gonna go over some of the, I think the basic 6 steps that you would need to consider as you develop any content strategy, particularly in this case for social media. So the first thing that you want to do is define your target audience. Who is your buyer persona? A buyer persona is like a fictitious character that you may put a name, even an image of what your buyer or your audience is, including the demographical and psychographical characteristics. What are their interests? How do they behave? As it pertains to the product and service you provide. If you have a nonprofit and you want to attract donors, then you would have to think about what is the profile of that donor? Where do they work? What do they do? If you're looking for donors, then the second step is defining on which social media channel you're gonna approach them. If it's donors, then it's probably people from any business, and which social media tool or platform is more directed to businesses. Well, that's LinkedIn. So that is important that you define the specific characteristics of each type of audience you want to approach, so you can then identify where that type of audience navigates, where they spend more time, and then you can choose the appropriate platform depending on your audience and what you want to achieve. Then you go to the third step, which is creating the content calendar. And so when you create the content calendar, you want to think about the copy, but you want to think about which topics, which hashtags, and which type of media. So when we talked about the editorial calendar in the last lecture, that gives you a better idea of the topics you're going to want to approach, how to define them as specific as possible, so they then translate to social media posts. The fourth step is write and design content. So we're going to spend more time in this class doing that, writing the copy, designing the content. There's no one size fits all. You're all going to work in teams. Maybe one of you has a design background and the other one wants to provide the copy. That's fine. And then you want to curate lists of content, so you decide which type of content you're going to curate. Remember, this is going to be a mixture of curating content and creating content. So when you choose which topics or which content you're going to curate, remember that when you share content from others on social media, you should tag them. And that gives them a notification that there is someone else sharing their content. And you, as I said in the last video, you provide your own perspective, but it's a good way to make connections too between brands and between companies. So if I share any article from HubSpot, I may want to add my own perspective, but also tag them so they are aware that, hey, Celeste is giving me more reach through her social media posts by sharing this particular article. So it's a good way to create connections through content curation. And so here is just a basic 6 steps of how to craft a social media strategy. Until next time, have a good day or have a good night.